Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Lessons from My Mentors. Thank you for watching. I know you have a lot of choices in what you can watch, and I hope this content is helpful. I know it's been helpful to me in my career and still is today. This lesson on haters comes from Kevin Roberts largely because it was there at UH when I first became, a CIO, and in terms of in a large organization, and was starting to do some things. And so I started to collect haters, and I was like really bummed out about it. I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And I got all defensive and like I was doing the wrong thing. And he told me that if you don't have haters, you're not doing your job. So if you're watching this because you have haters, trying to figure out how do you deal with them, good job. That means you're doing your job. Now, you don't want to antagonize people to develop haters like purposefully, but if you're doing good things, if you're doing bold things, if you're leading well, whether in life, if you're doing well in life, it's sport, every area you're gonna have these haters. So a couple ideas about how to handle haters. And first, I was talking with a friend about this as I was preparing my thoughts. You can identify a hater because, at least I have, with a little formula. One is they're stalking you. They'll stalk you in a wide variety of ways, but it's pretty easy to tell on social media who's stalking you. And you always wonder, like I'm so naive. I'm like, whoa, wow, this person's pretty cool person. I wonder why they're stalking me. And then a month later, there's this hate going on. So that's one way. Another one is when someone only reaches out to you or says something about you when it's negative. So that's a hater, because a friend won't do that. A friend will love on you all the time, tell you good things, reinforce good things that you're doing. Then when they tell you, and you want them to tell you when things aren't so good, you receive it because you're like, I trust this person. They love on me. They are supportive of me, and they're just trying to help me. So, but a hater doesn't do that. A hater just hates. So I think they're pretty easy to identify. And yes, I'm at Central Park, so I stopped in the middle of my run. I thought, oh, this would be kind of a great view to have for Lessons from My Mentor. Plus, I was thinking a lot about it as I was running along. So pardon some of the background. It's always interesting. People watching here at Central Park, one of my favorite places in the world to run. So some of the things that you can do. One is forgive. This is the most important, maybe the hardest. Forgive these people because understand they're coming out of a place of pain. There's jealousy, there's anger, there's resentment, and that doesn't come from a place of joy. It comes from a place of pain. So you got to feel bad, have compassion, and then if you pray for them, that they would be healed and things like that. Now that doesn't mean you need to accept them and invite them in or listen to them. In fact, I think quite the opposite. You should block them because you don't need haters in your life. I always say surround yourself by life givers, not takers. And so haters are definitely takers. So you don't want them in your life. So remove them from your life. There's many different ways of doing that. Certainly social media is a lot easier these days to remove haters, but just do what you can to remove haters. So avoid them physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, all those sort of things. Then the other thing you can do is be kind. So with a hater, if you have to interact for some reason, be kind. And the last thing you want to do is keep reinforcing their behavior. So if you are mean-spirited back to them, you're just going to invite more of that. So if you do have to interact with them, just be overly kind. There's a saying about kindness to an evil person, to a hater, is like pouring coal on a fire. I mean, that'll get them more than anything anyways, if that's your goal. So those are a couple things. I wrote a little bit about this in a blog earlier this year. I'll put it in the show notes, called Mean Girls, and it applies to men as well, and boys and ladies, but it's a takeoff on the movie Mean Girls, and talk a little bit about bullying in the workplace, because that's what hating in a sense is when it comes from someone in the workplace. Oftentimes it'll come from people outside of the workplace. I've had that happen as well. And again, people, tip one, take it as a sign like you're doing the right thing. 2, forgive, love on them. 3, avoid them. Don't have haters in your life, so if you can, definitely avoid them and don't instigate them. And then lastly, what I still try to do is I try to extract some value. So it's like, if there's a theme, they hate you for something, and there's a theme, like maybe you've heard that before or heard that from a loved one, or you can just test it. So you're like, hey, person's hating on me this time about XYZ, you know, do you think there's any sort of validity in XYZ? And maybe there is, and then you can make a change. I wouldn't spend too much time on anything like that from a hater, but only if you found it to be thematic in what some other people have said. So that's really it, you know. So take it as a badge, like you're doing the right thing. Forgive, absolutely forgive. And then I already mentioned, you know, 3 or 4 things you can do to avoid haters, and just hang out with supporters. That'll speak true to you, though. You still want to get that sort of feedback. Anyways, lessons from my mentor. Thank you, Kevin. It's worked pretty well in my life, and I appreciate it. Thanks for watching Lessons from my mentor.